really looked at each other on the way out the door and was like, "This was a joke, dude. Like, how are they gonna know who we are from this interview?" You know.
And no lie, we were in KC. We left the Extreme Weight Loss casting call and went and ate barbecue.
Because
did you crush the barbecue?
We crushed the barbecue. We were like, "This is a joke." And when you look at it, that's what
how our minds work. Though.
Yes, it is. Like,
I bet you're just like
disappointment. You know,
we felt like we were. It was a complete waste of time.
It was a letdown.
All right, guys. This is the Unbroken podcast with Chris Crosby. I am fortunate enough to have the Delgado brothers, Raymond and Robert, with me today.
What's up?
What up? What up?
And we're going to talk a little bit about kind of what we talk about on the show, weight loss, fitness, and some weightlifting in there. But first, I just want to have them have the opportunity to kind of introduce themselves a little bit.
Well, my name is Robert Delgado, twin brother of Raymond. We were on the Extreme Weight Loss season 5, and I feel like I was pretty successful with it. I lost 177 pounds for the whole year, and just now we're back at home just doing what we do and trying to live our life now, healthy and fit.
And I'm Raymond Delgado, Robert's better half. And I was also successful with the show. I lost 160. I always forget the number. It was like 161, 166, somewhere around there. But
margin of error is 7.
It's not important.
Yeah, it's not important. I'm not 400 pounds no more. But yeah, I was successful, and I'm just at home also trying to balance life and weight loss and fitness and maintain and just doing what we can.
That's the real life part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like
real life definitely takes its toll whenever the cameras go away and the lights go away, and you have to go back to work and take care of your family again and come back home, and it definitely is hard. Maintenance is not easy. So if you think that if you lose weight and you get quote unquote skinny, that it's over, it's not, because you will gain weight fast.
It's an everyday lifetime battle. It's not, you don't lose the weight and then you can go back to your everyday life, your everyday eating how you used to. It's a lifestyle change. It's really not a diet. You just have to learn the ins and outs of what works for you and what doesn't work, and you have to really fall in love with fitness and know that this is something you want to do every day, because there are going to be days where you don't want to do it and you don't want to work out, but you got people like Chris and live in our community that push us to do better, and we hopefully do the same for other people, and that's what it comes down to. It's a struggle every day. You really have to fight sometimes to get out of bed to do something, but it's definitely worth it. And you have to know that this new life is what you want, and you have to fight for it, and you do everything you have to do it every day.
it's ultimately not about weight loss. It's just about being healthy.
Yeah, it's
About being happy, because honestly, I mean, you may portray a happy life like I used to. I know I did, and at 400 pounds, I wasn't very happy, and now I can honestly tell you, deep down, I'm happy and I'm healthy, and
that's what it's about. It's not about being skinny. It's not about being, oh, I'm so skinny. It's about being healthy and fit, and you feel good about yourself.
Getting your mind right.
Yeah, you have to change the way you think about yourself before you could really help anybody else, and that's the most important part.
You guys know a lot of people that have been on the show and are with you on that season. What do you see the difference of those that have been on the show that didn't get their mind right versus the people that got their mind right and then realized the fitness falls in line?
If you start a journey like this, a lot of the it just comes around full circle. If you don't change the way you think about yourself, or to think about fitness and to think about the healthy lifestyle, once the people that are having you do all of this is gone, you don't have that person is the one pushing it more for you than anything else, so that you're ultimately going to turn around and just gain the weight back, because you never really changed the way you thought about this new life. You never really wanted it. So that's why it's so important to change your mind.
So if you start to feel that you're pushing as much as someone else is pushing you, then you're going to be successful.
But if you feel the person that's helping you do this is pushing and want this more than you do, it's probably not going to work out for you. That's why it is important for you to know that this is something that you want before you start it. And even if you do start it and you're not quite there yet, it's something that you could fall in love with, and it really does change everything, the way you think about it.
It really is fall in love with fitness. Like, that's, for me, I've lost weight before different ways and put it back on, but when you actually fall in love with the process, because a lot of us think about the end game. Like, we want to watch that 5-minute montage video and be at our goal weight, and then everyone high fives each other. I mean, that's what we see in our heads, but if we don't fall in love with the fitness, we were talking earlier about how, the gym, CrossFit, like that community, like if you don't have it like you did, you miss it. You totally miss it. And that's, for me, like, helped me fall in love with fitness is not just the losing the weight, but gaining new friends. Like, I would have never met you guys if I didn't start my own journey. And I want to talk about that, how I met Raymond. Okay, so I was in the gym, and it's just a normal night, and I see this guy and this girl in the back, and I'm like, okay, there's new people here, and I'm notorious for being like, hey, I'm Chris, new guy, you're new. See Raymond. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? But I'm like, hey, there's another bigger guy. That's awesome, because you were kind of.
Yeah, at that point, I was probably 280.
300, close to it. It was after.
Well,
phase
yeah, it was
one.
right after boot camp, so I was around 380, I think. No,
280.
280. Sorry.
Starting over. And so another bigger guy, but he was crushing me in cardio, and I started getting pissed off because I was like, I've been doing CrossFit for 2 years, not quite 2 years at that point, but I really wasn't. I just started trying to get my diet right. But this guy's like grabbing a kettlebell and just freaking running, and I'm just like, yeah. Who is this guy? And then I'm like, yeah, it's like, and then he runs by me. He's like, good job, bro. Keep it up. And I'm like, he gets it. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, we're going to be friends. And so I went up and talked to him afterwards. And we talked a couple days. And then you was like, hey, I'm on this TV show. And I was like, oh, I watched season 1 a little bit. And then before that, I think even before you told me on the show, we exchanged numbers because I was just starting working with Macy and I was just like, hey, I need an accountability friend. And you told me you've lost a ton of weight. And so we'd text each other. You told me a little bit about your diet. And so that's how that friendship started growing. And then
I came back and just straight dominated Raymond. And then Chris was like, man, I need to find this guy.
Yeah, this is actually hashtag Rayro what? Yeah, like, when you came, I think the first workout, excuse me, yeah.
For me, whenever at first, it was during, I don't remember which one it was, but it was a hero WOD. It was a lot of burpees.
Ridiculous.
A lot of 200-meter runs. Oh,
yeah.
There's a lot of burpees, a lot of 200-meter runs. It was crazy. But what I remember also is whenever I was working out, I didn't know Chris was thinking I was dominating him, because I remember after the workout, I was telling my girlfriend, man, I was over there trying to, because like even with Robert, when it comes to cardio, Robert will pass me almost every time.
Every time, not
but
almost.
When it comes to the weightlifting, then I'll pass Robert. So we kind of, it evens it out to where we pretty much finish at the same time, because his cardio is a little bit better, but my strength is a little bit higher. But that's the same with Chris. My cardio is a little bit better, but Chris's strength is unbelievable. So whenever I was trying to keep up with Chris, I might pass him when it come to the running, but then when we got back into the gym and we started lifting, he'd smoke me because he's so you're always better at something when it comes to fitness. So it's never like, oh, I'm just not good at running. You may not be that good at running, but you may be awesome at lifting, and you can still lose a ton of weight lifting. So it's just what you put into your workouts.
And it goes right back to the mind game. You really have to start thinking that more positive about yourself, because you're not going to be perfect at everything. There's things that I go into the gym right now, and Chris is, I'm the professional season 5 weight loss contestant, that did awesome. And then I go to the gym and I can't even do what are those called when you throw your arms up? And
overhead squat?
Overhead squats, can't do them, not even close to doing them.
I'm back there trying to put plates under your feet.
Chris is back there helping me do it, and so
that's how it
goes
shows.
to show.
We're not professionals, we're not perfect. So when we go into a gym, I feel like sometimes people might be a little intimidated by us being there because we were on the Extreme Weight Loss show. We lost a whole bunch of weight. These guys know their thing. We do know our thing. But that doesn't mean what we did is going to be exactly what you need to do. So it doesn't change. If you're working hard, that's all that matters. Because we go in there, Chris helps us with a lot of stuff. So it doesn't change just because we were on the Extreme Weight Loss, meaning we're better than you or better than anybody, because we're not.
It's all your mind, how you think. As long as you know you're giving it everything you got in that positive mindset, you're going to be perfect with whatever you do because you're going to give it everything you have to get whatever you need to get done.
Yeah, if you're working, if you're even in there doing a half hour, anything, if you're moving, you're winning. Yep. It's when people think that they don't... When someone thinks that they come in, let's say, last in a race or in a workout or whatever, that they're failing.
Yeah,
they lost. No, everyone's cheering for you because you're doing it.
Don't matter if you lost, you finished.
Like,
you know what I mean?
How many times, like, for you guys, even before you started losing weight, how intimidating? Because I remember on the show, Chris surprised you at the Y, right?
Yeah.
How intimidating was it for you guys to go to the gym? Because did you think in your head that everyone was judging you or criticizing you?
All the time, yeah. And that's one of the things that kind of stopped us before we got picked for the show. That was kind of one of the things that stopped us because you don't want to be the fat guy in the gym or the big girl in the gym. You don't want to be that person. So we were definitely intimidated. But that's, and I keep saying it, but it comes back to it. Once you start changing the way that you think in the bigger picture about everything, you're going to stop worrying about what anyone else is looking at or doing, because if they're in there doing the right thing, they're not worried about what you're doing because they're focusing on what you look like, because they're focusing on what their goals are, just like you're focusing on what your goals are. So,
but at the end, you're also come to find out that a lot of the time, the skinny person in the gym or the buff person in the gym is actually supporting you.
Yeah.
And they'll come up to you and tell you good job. If they see, I remember the first time someone came up to us in the gym, and we lost probably about 100 pounds at that point. And this was before the show. So at my very biggest, Raymond, I was at 451 pounds at my very biggest. And I lost 100 pounds, and someone in the gym noticed it. And he came up to me and Robert, and we were still pretty big, but and he was really like fit and buff. And he told us that he saw an improvement. He told us congratulations and that we looked really good, to keep it up. And it was just like, it was mind blowing to us because he was in the gym every day just like we were. And then for him to notice, it was awesome to think that he wasn't over there thinking, oh, look at that fat guy. What is he even doing in here?
Someone of that caliber noticing you.
Yeah. Yep. Someone of that caliber noticing you, taking time to say congratulations, and it's, the people in the gym are not there to put you down. Trust me, they're going to support you also. And I mean, sometimes they may not say anything to you, but that doesn't mean they're thinking negative about you.
I remember the first time I lost weight. I lost 90 pounds just running, and I was doing that Couch to 5K program. And one day I was supposed to run 20 minutes straight, and it was really daunting for me. And it was cold outside, so I was in an indoor track. So it's running just circles around this small thing, and it was just hard, tedious. I had my headphones on, and there was another guy running that was just marathoner, skinny legs, tall, just crushing it, just passing me. And I get done, and he runs a few more laps, and he comes up and he's like, I was really impressed how you did. And I was like, thank you. I didn't know people noticed. I just thought this chubby guy was doing laps around the court, and you noticed. And so, I mean, people really are. And now, like, I'm not where I want to be weight loss wise, but I'm getting there, and people have noticed. But I see a person that comes into the gym. I've had a couple friends that have contacted me that are in their 300 pound range, and they're just like, I want that. And when they're in there, and I talk to my friends about them being in there, and they're just like, we're going to help him out, we're going to support him, and they're just super excited to see them in there.
I was going to say, that's one good thing about the CrossFit Republic, if I could say something about
plug
them. When I went to the gym, because one thing that the show told us, because CrossFit's very competitive, it's very serious. The CrossFitters take their job very serious, and it's not a joke to them. It's not a game. They don't play around. So when we came back from boot camp, and our coaches in Colorado, they're used to training, quote unquote, obese people, because that's what they specialize in is transformations from big to small. And when they sent us home from boot camp, they told us, some of you guys are going to big cities. Some of them are in New York and California and Colorado and things like that. And they said,
Monette.
Yeah, Monette, big cities, And they said, some of you guys may not get as welcoming of a
warm
welcoming that you got here, because it's a different atmosphere. The CrossFitters are not there to pay attention to other people. They're fighting for their own goals, just like you guys are, which you should be putting everything in your workouts too. But when I came home to Republic CrossFit, and it was exactly like boot camp. These people were the exact same as what I just came home from boot camp, and they were welcoming. I couldn't tell you how many people was in that gym that day, and I'm pretty sure every single one of them said something to me, and they didn't know who I was. They didn't know I was on a TV show. I don't even know if very many of them knew we were on a TV show for quite a while, actually, because I didn't say a whole bunch of it. I was just there to work out, and They were just all like, hey, nice to meet you. My name is so-and-so. You're doing awesome. Keep it up. And every day. And then, it slowly got out that we were on a show, because obviously we'd show up sometimes with cameras and stuff like that. So
and I was telling everybody.
Yeah, and Chris was telling everybody, because I talked to Chris.
Guys, do you know?
No. But so the people out there are there to support you. And
just bring that positive attitude. Yeah. Just know that you're going to walk in there and be like, this is my gym now. I own this place. And that's really how you have to go into those places, because you're going to go places and there's going to be people that are going to blow you out of the water, whether you're 100 pounds or you're 400 pounds. Go in there to change your life, and everything else is going to fall into place as long as you have that positive attitude. And don't be embarrassed if you need help or you need someone to help you with form or whatever you're trying to do.
And Chris is the perfect guy for that, because this guy's a monster.
And anyone really over in CrossFit Republic, those guys are freaking awesome, and that's where we work out at, and it really does. You just have to go in there and have that positive mindset to know that these people are not going to judge you. Don't worry about what people think about you. Go in there and change your life. Yeah. It's all about what you need to do for your health.
I'm taking a class from Joe, this barbell class that does the Olympic lifts. And there's like one part where I'm like, man, I keep missing on this one part. And Joe's like, take a rubber band, put it between your hands and stretch it out 4 or 5 times, and now try. And I land the lift the next time. I'm like, you're a wizard. Like, I don't know how he figures these things out. Well, I know, because he's just really smart and works really hard at what he does.
So, Joe was one of our coaches.
Yeah, you guys worked with Joe.
Yeah, we worked with Joe
one-on-one a lot.
Yep. And he was really good to us too. He helped me lose a lot of weight while I was at home.
He knows his stuff.
Yeah,
and
he does.
And he's really there for you. And I'm gonna interview him pretty soon.
The Chris Powell of Monette.
Chris Powell of Monette.
He was for us, for sure.
He's a coach now with programming, Power and Grace. I don't know if you've ever seen his Power and Grace stuff. It's a training program online that he now programs for them. James does the same. He does the endurance side, which you guys worked with James quite a bit too, another one of our coaches. But can I ask you guys about the audition process of extreme weight loss? Like,
audition process, man, I'm telling you, I'm
pretty sure it was a year long.
I'm pretty sure we almost didn't end up signing up for extreme weight loss because it was so long.
Yeah.
It was a lot. To be honest, how it started was I've always been a fan. This is Robert. I've always been a fan of extreme weight loss, and I've always said, man, if I can just meet Chris and talk to Chris,
right,
I know I would lose this weight,
And he was just talking about meeting him, not even being on the show.
So I follow Chris on Instagram and Facebook and things like that.
Chris Powell.
Chris Powell, yeah.
I mean, I'm a big deal, but not Chris Powell big.
Yeah, I follow Chris and Heidi on Facebook and Instagram, and I got up one day and I was just pretty miserable, to be honest with you, with my life and where I was at, and I hated a lot of things, and it goes deep sometimes for people. Some people are different than others, but I was in a pretty bad place with myself, and so I followed Chris, and I've always watched the shows, and that's what always kind of was my motivation when I started to try to do this on my own. And but I seen on Facebook he posted a thing about open auditions and open casting calls and see if they're in your area. And so I went to the website and I looked, and they were holding an open casting in Kansas City.
They hold them all over the place, but one of them was
in Kansas City, and that was closest to where we live. So I Raymond was at work, and I texted him, and I said, hey, when you get home, you need to sign up, pre-register. And he's like, okay, whatever.
Did they make you audition together? Or
together.
Okay.
But Raymond was like, yeah, okay.
I don't give a crap.
Raymond wasn't so much into it as much as I was.
bro.
Yeah.
Because to me, I didn't think sign up for a TV show. Whoa, you're never gonna get picked for a freaking reality TV show. So I thought it was a joke.
But I was content. And,
you were in that spot in your life,
dude. I had to do something.
He was focused.
I
wasn't.
And I told Raymond, I messaged him back like 20 minutes later, and I said, hey, you don't have to worry about it. I signed us both up. So I
was like, oh crap. I wasn't really gonna sign up.
I pre-registered for both of us, and then probably like a month later, we were both on our way to work, and I get a phone call, and it was a California number, and I answered it, and it was someone from ABC that was just wishing us luck on the open casting, and that's what kind of reminded me, because I completely forgot about it. So I was like, oh, okay. So we went to work that day.
It was literally the next day. They was like, I'm wishing you good luck tomorrow on your casting call for the ABC Extreme Weight Loss, and we were like, oh crap, we forgot all about that.
So we went into work and took the vacation.
So that means you guys were already a little on the radar then. It sounds like.
Yeah, anybody, like they said for our season, they said over 6,000 people tried out for the show.
And
so if you pre-registered, it was already in their system that you were supposedly going to try out.
So they might have called everyone, or it could have been specific,
twins,
maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they called us, and so we went to work and took vacation the next day, and we drove up to Kansas City, sat there for like 5 hours.
Oh my
so
gosh.
many people, and we finally get into the room. It was one. What do they call them? Casting coordinators? Is that what they call them?
Sure.
The people that were there. I guess that's what they call them. It was a lady. She was in a room. 7 of us went in at a time. It wasn't even one-on-one.
Her name was Ashley Dickens.
Yep. And so we sat into this room, and we're insecure. We're embarrassed. We're huge. You don't want to be in there telling anyone.
But everyone else was huge too.
But you don't see that. All you're doing is focusing on yourself.
That's what
really.
we think about when we're in there. You're in a room full of people thinking the exact same. You're like, oh, they're gonna look up. Or you guys sizing other people up.
Yes.
Like, okay, I'm not.
We're not as big as them, so we're not gonna get picked.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think we were the smallest one out of. I don't know. No one else got. Oh no, one other person got picked from Kansas City actually.
Okay.
But
and she became a good friend of ours. Her name is Kelly Poles from the show this year.
She was the second episode. Yeah, but she's from Kansas City. But so we were there,
awesome.
and we were like,
so we were at the same audition, didn't even know it, and then we actually became like best friends with her from the show. So it was kind of it's a small world. We were both at the same audition, got picked, and then we ended up meeting each other in Colorado for the first time.
But we sat there. They asked us like 4 questions: how far we drove to get there, what was one of like the big reasons why we wanted to lose weight, and
what was our biggest success accomplishment in our lives.
And do you
remember what you answered on those two?
Yeah,
the first one was it was 2-hour drive to Kansas City from where we lived. Second one was we wanted to lose weight because
we can be there for our family more.
Right.
We had nieces, and we were so big we couldn't play or take care of no one anymore. We
wanted to have a longer life.
Yeah.
And then our biggest accomplishment for both of us at that point, we've already lost about 120 pounds apiece. So our biggest accomplishment in our life was losing that weight.
So you already showed that
that we were ready for that, And those are the only questions they asked, and they asked all of us in the room.
It took like 15 minutes. There was 7 people in the room at the same time, so it was us 2 plus 5 other people, and they just went down the line and asked us all this. So we answered questions in front of other people that we had no idea. And it was like 15 minutes long for everyone.
Then we got up and left. And that was it.
You're like, I took a vacation day to do this.
We literally looked at each other on the way out the door and was like, this was a joke, dude. Like, how are they going to know who we are from this interview?
And no lie, we were in KC. We left the Extreme Weight Loss casting call and went and ate barbecue.
Because
did you crush the barbecue?
We crushed the barbecue. We were like, this is a joke.
And when you look at it, that's what
our minds work.
Yes, it is. Like,
I bet you're just like
disappointment.
We felt like we were. It was a complete waste of time.
How many other people from the casting were there with you guys? Because I'm sure most. We
didn't see anyone.
Because that's what I would have done. I was like, "Where's Wendy?"
But that's one of the things you have to change too about how you react to negative and how you react to the bad things that happen in life. You can't focus on those things, but at that point, that's where we were. So
that's how
it was a disappointment. So what did? We went and found something that made us happy, which was food.
Yeah.
And so
before we even got home from we got home from Kansas City. We were dead tired because I worked 12-hour shifts overnight. So I worked overnight, came home, took a shower, and got dressed, and drove to Kansas City. So I was up for 2 days straight for the open casting call. And
So you had big old bags.
so I
under
had
your
bags
eyes,
under my
like,
eyes. I
I'm
was
perfect
dead
for
tired.
TV.
And I came home. Me and my girlfriend went to sleep, and we were out. I woke up to a missed call and a voicemail on my phone. So before the day was even over, we had a call from Ashley Dickens, who interviewed us and said that we did a great job. She loved
That's
us.
awesome.
And she wanted us to come up the very next day back to Kansas City for a filmed interview. And it would just be me and Robert in a room by ourselves with her talking, further interview on camera. And we were like, oh, sweet. So we took another vacation day, went back to Kansas City.
Did you get barbecue?
We did not
We
get
did not
barbecue,
get barbecue that time.
'Cause we thought, okay, I guess we should focus a little bit more. It was probably 30, 40-minute interview on camera with them. And then they
gave us paperwork.
That
To
day,
take home.
That day
Homework.
they told us that they want to further us into the process, and they gave us some paperwork and some instructions that they wanted us to go home and do,
Make
which was
home
some
videos.
home videos. So we had to do, a 2 or 3 minute home video of our
Day in the
daily
life, kinda.
our daily life, what we do, what we eat, just kind of how we
Normal
live.
things that are
Did they
easy for people.
Are those some of the things they used on the show?
No, but they used it in the casting videos to send to the ABC when they
Okay.
were picking people.
Sure.
So it was just like
so they can get to know us. So it wasn't used for the show, but it was so that
they kind of got a sense of who we were,
Yeah.
So we joked around a little bit in the video, or you had a little bit of fun with it to kind of show who you were, so they can
a little bit of humor, because we're
You guys are fun.
we're fun guys. I feel like we're not like super depressed or nothing.
Like,
So
and this is where I eat my tub of ice cream.
yeah.
So we can laugh at ourselves just like anyone else, So I think they like that about us, and that we were honest. If someone asks us anything, we're not like we're gonna hide and not anymore. We got to a point to where we're not gonna hide who we were anymore, and I think they liked it, and they seen it all in our videos, and
So we
they
sent
called
them-
us. We sent in all the paperwork and all
But
the
there was a
videos.
lot more paperwork after those videos.
A lot.
Background checks. I mean, I have probably a 4-inch stack of
Holy
papers,
cow.
and I still have them to this day.
Everyone you knew had to fill out release forms so that they can be seen on TV, and it was a process, but it was definitely worth it when it was done.
Then they
Then
said
they called us
Yeah.
one day. We were sitting at home, and they called us and was like, "Are you with your brother?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're sitting right here." And she's like, "Well, ABC would like to invite you guys to come to Colorado for 2 weeks for finals week," is what they called it.
It was the last of the process.
You go up there and you have to make it through the first week, and then you go
like
through
40 something people that
Yeah,
come.
Yeah.
It was 38 people.
38. Okay.
and you had to make it through the first week, and then they did cuts. If you didn't make it to the second week, you didn't.
How
You didn't make
stressful was that?
It was pretty stressful.
You're just like,
But the funny
look
thing,
to your
honestly,
left,
at that
look to your
point-
right. One of you are not going to be.
Yeah,
able to
right.
come
But
in.
at that point, it was actually we were so exhausted, physically tired from like the workouts and the eating that they were having us do. I think they were testing us to see what we can handle.
Right.
So there was a couple times where me and Robert were looking at each other and was like,
could we do
"Dude,
this?
do you think we can even handle this?"
For a whole
like
year?
we were tired, we were exhausted.
hungry?
I didn't think honestly. There was a couple times where I was like,
Did they
I
make
kind of hope they cut us.
Did they make you do 7 minutes of burpees the
Yeah.
first day?
That was our
Our
first
first workout was
Yeah.
only 7 minutes long, and I tell everyone this story because you're like 7 minutes, whatever,
That ain't
you know.
nothing. I was covered in sweat.
That was the
Worst
first
day of my
workout,
life.
and that was the only workout I almost passed out in. It was so hard. At 400
Terrible.
pounds almost.
So that, you guys
Did like 40 burpees in 7 minutes, and now I can do like 100 or something probably.
We'll get into this later, but like you guys gifted me a week at the Destination Boot Camp at Anschutz, and that was the first workout they put us through.
Same thing.
And
You
like-
guys went through the same thing we did.
And I'd done it before, and I knew it was coming, and I was looking, and I had done a burpee mile at this point because burpees are just terrible.
Yeah,
And
for
so I'm
anyone,
looking
no
around
matter
and
how
looking
in
at
shape
people
you
in my
are.
group, and I'm like, "Be ready! Like this is gonna be."
Don't smile right
Yeah,
now because
this
it's
is-
not a joke.
This is not a joke. You're good. This is terrible.
This
and
is
like,
serious.
but like people, like one guy, his name's Dak. He's a stud. He 500 and he was mid 500s.
Yeah.
And he did 2 burpees on his own at that weight, and then he used a chair. But how freaking awesome is that? Anyway, go ahead. So you guys you did a whole week at Anschutz.
And then that's when we met Chris and Heidi. That's when we
The second week, right?
No, the first week.
Was it with everyone there? I'm pretty sure it was the second week.
I thought it was like it was the first day we were filling out paperwork. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was the first day we were there. Chris and Heidi came in, and we're all just stoked, so excited.
Did he like go up and like know a little
knew
bit about
every
everybody?
single one of our
person.
names? He knew backgrounds about us. Like those guys are freaking awesome. Chris and Heidi are beyond amazing people. They knew us from in and out, top to bottom, left
like
and right.
even me and
Didn't
Robert,
matter.
they did not. Chris and Heidi knew who we were. They knew that I was Raymond, and they knew that he was Robert.
So that whole that thing at the beginning,
Yeah,
of
the
your
whole-
show was a joke.
Yeah,
where
he
he's
was just
like, "No,
joking
I'm
around
Raymond,
for
I'm
the
Rob-"
show.
Yeah, okay.
because he knew us. There was no question. Him and Heidi
And that was
both.
cool. It was cool that they take that kind of time and they really do commit to helping people change their lives, and that's what they did with us.
They really are that way in real life.
In real life, 100%, they're even better in real life
Yeah,
than what they
they're
are
not
on camera.
they're not like your typical what you would consider they're
Celebrities.
celebrities that they're only there for filming and then you never see them again. They were with us almost every single day unless we were filming, and then obviously they had to be on camera so they couldn't stay with us everything we were doing. But they wrote our workouts every single day. They put us through our workouts. They were with us all the time. We got their personal phone numbers. We talked to them all. I mean, even to this day, I talked to Chris and Heidi. We talked to Heidi just yesterday, right?
I remember you come walking into the gym like, and you hang up your phone. I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh, I just was talking to Heidi." And I'm like, "You don't just come rolling into here saying you just talked to Heidi, pal."
On
you're just like-
FaceTime.
You're just like, "Hey, we're BFs," and I was just like, "That's Heidi, pal." So,
Yeah,
I mean, that
it's
was
funny.
cool.
I'll FaceTime her sometimes, and she'll be like, they were filming one day on the beach with
Yeah.
the show from a different contestant, and I was FaceTiming her, and I was like, "Don't answer FaceTime, Heidi, while you're on the beach while I'm here in Missouri."
You're so cool. I used to tell her.
So it's
That's
cool. We had a lot
awesome.
of fun with them, but
Well, like Bruce from season
four,
4,
yup.
he's
He
a
became-
stud. He was at my boot camp.
Yeah.
So I became friends with him there.
Yep.
But like Georgiano was basically making fun of him. Like Bruce has a room at Chris and Heidi's house. He like pretty much lives there.
No, he did. That was awesome.
That's how I was with Chris and Heidi too.
Yeah.
So Bruce and me and Bruce always used to joke around about, don't think that you're gonna live here. I'm gonna live here. Like Chris and Heidi. I was always over there when I was in Arizona with Chris. Obviously, I was with Chris and Heidi, but me and Bruce used to joke around all the time about who was going to get the room and this is where I'm going to live. You don't live here. This is
don't
my
live
house,
here.
you know, like it was cool though. Chris and Heidi, man, they really did open up their lives to us, and some people don't get the extra, you know, in depth with them just
Right.
because, you know, not everyone connects to long life,
that
you know,
level,
like
yeah.
that.
Because we're going to
And
be friends with Chris and Heidi for
forever,
the rest
you
of our
know,
lives.
no matter what. And they get busy, and I think some people get mad about that. Like, oh, they don't answer their phone calls. They get busy. You know, they have a lot
real
of stuff
life.
going
And
on. You
how
know?
many seasons have they done? How many friendships? How many
Yeah.
things?
How many
And they have,
kids
they have
Kids.
4
So
kids.
Yeah.
some people take that to heart, and we don't never take
Yeah.
that to heart. If they don't answer, they usually always call us back, and if they don't,
I mean, I've had it.
call 'em back.
I've called Heidi before, and like 6 days later, she's like, she'll text me or call me back and be like, Raymond, I'm so sorry. I just seen your phone call. And I was like, you just seen it, Heidi? I called you 6 days ago. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so busy. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, we don't get mad about that stuff, but it's just they're busy. They got real life stuff to deal with. They got their own. They're married. They got issues, or if they have any problems, they deal with their.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not. They're
They're
not
a
like
normal couple.
Yeah, they're normal
with
people.
kids.
They have to deal with their own things too. So,
but they really
they're always there
They
for
taught
you no
us
matter
so
what.
much about the weight loss and
Yeah.
and the mindset and the changing the way you think.
They're
you
real
know?
big about mindset.
Big
I mean,
time,
like
yeah.
they talk about the 3 pillars: the mindset, the diet, and the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And 80% of weight loss is diet, just in case you wanted to know.
Yeah.
So people that want to use
Oh.
excuses like, I can't lose weight because I can't exercise. Well, guys, if you can exercise a couple hours a week, you're doing better than a lot of people. And if you can focus in on your diet, you're going to lose weight, period.
I was working out 5 days a week, and I was stuck at 310 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going and eating Chinese food every day at lunch, and you know me and my obsession with Chinese food. I love it.
Yeah, everyone loves it. I love it.
This Springfield cashew chicken. What's up?
It's awesome. Shout out.
So, Robert, how was it really hard to be in Arizona for that 3 months? Like, you guys separate. I know they talked a lot about in the show, but was it really like?
It was definitely different being away from Raymond. I think they weighed in a lot more about how
dramatize
I'm
it.
so sad that I'm not with Raymond, because Raymond's my sidekick from day one.
Sure.
You know, always have been, always will be. But we can go. You know,
We're not connected at the hip.
Yeah, we can do things without each other, and we don't live together and things like that.
You guys
so
wake up at the same time, high five each
yes,
other, and
so
like, let's go, bro.
It was harder because whenever I go through things, I always had Raymond, and it's all anyone that knows that's been through anything that has a partner. It's so much easier to be able to be like in person. What's up,
Someone
dude?
to
I'm
talk to.
struggling.
Yeah.
It sucks a lot worse when you have to do it over the phone.
Right.
So those kind of things sucked, you know. But it wasn't so bad being in Arizona. And a lot of people ask me too, how come I missed my phase 2 goal by 18 pounds, and I was in Arizona with Chris and Heidi.
Yeah.
And people are like, if you were with them, like why? It's because Chris and Heidi aren't slave drivers. They're not in your face like, this is what you're
They're not
eating. You're not
feeding
doing
you.
nothing else. They're not cooking your food. Like, it's my responsibility, and they set you up to make those choices, because once the show's over, they're not going to be sitting in my kitchen making sure I eat the right thing or cooking me the right food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people ask me that, and I'm like, no, like
And it was a growing
on
process for them too, because they had to learn this stuff slowly too. Because I think at the beginning they were a little bit more strict on what they allowed.
like making
the
people do
contestants to
this and do that, and you can't do that because in the long run you're not going to be there forever to make them eat the chicken or whatever.
The
So
broccoli.
yeah, so a lot of people ask
They
me
gave
that,
you a lot
and-
of freedom.
And yeah, it was up to me to make those decisions. And when I messed up or I ate something I wasn't supposed to, or ate too much of something, they
That
never,
was on you.
yeah, and they never look down on you like, you're worthless, you can't do this, you're doing this whole process and you're throwing it away. They never ever said that to anybody.
And they were always proud of you. They was never disappointed.
Well, they know how people like us react. I know for me, like I have certain people I look up to, and I'm sure Chris and Heidi are one of
Yeah.
those. And you live for a compliment.
Yeah.
Rather than you want them to notice that.
Yeah.
And so they know, especially people that emotionally eat, that if they come in and be like, I am so disappointed in you, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's gonna shut you down, and they know that.
Yeah.
And so it was on me. It had nothing to do with Chris and Heidi, because they weren't forcing me to eat anything, or you know what I mean. So they really do give you that freedom. And I remember I was up there for a lot of the year, so through the holidays and Christmas and Thanksgiving and
Yeah.
things like that. And we had Thanksgiving. I had Thanksgiving over with Chris and Heidi, and Heidi was laughing at me because she thought it was she kept saying, this is the cutest thing. She was taking pictures of me and everything, because Thanksgiving, she's like, it's up to you guys. She's like, I'm gonna have regular food. I have a family here too, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have normal food, the turkey stuffing, things like that, potatoes, all that stuff, and all the stuff that you would consider not really healthy for you.
Right.
And then she's like, but I will have some healthier choices also.
Sure.
And so you guys can make your choice. Like, what do you guys want to do? If you want to eat with us, perfect. We welcome you. If you want to come hang out and whatever, I showed up with my Tupperware. I had my meal packed, my food made, and I showed up, and everyone's has their Thanksgiving dinners.
And you're in there
and
eating
I'm
chicken
sitting there with my
breast.
chicken, and I have it in a little red Tupperware. And Heidi just kept laughing. She's like, "You are so." That's how I know you're going to be successful, because
That's awesome.
even in that opportunity, she didn't say you guys are not allowed to eat. She's like, you guys can do whatever you want,
Yeah.
and there's plenty of food. This you guys could even
Because
use this.
one day is not going to make or break your weight
Yeah.
loss success, but it's your mindset that is what's
Yeah.
gonna change.
And so she thought that was cool that I showed up to her house
Yeah.
with a Tupperware of my own food, and I didn't have to worry about not having food and just sitting there watching everyone eat. I was able to eat too, and so yeah, it was just cool. They really do set you up for success, and they make
then-
sure you know all those things.
So, even though we moved on to another subject, Chris and Heidi showed up to the casting for our first
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's hear about
for
it.
our first week at our finals week, and they introduced themselves, and we talked to them for a long time as we were doing a ton of paperwork. And then they went home. They left because they actually flew in. They wasn't staying there because obviously we wasn't at boot camp yet. They flew in to meet us, and then they went home. They went back to Arizona, and we stayed in Colorado. And we'd be at Anschutz all day long. We'd go home, come back to Anschutz. It was just every day back and forth. And so the first week they made their cuts. We didn't get cut, obviously. And
You're up in that room, like up at the top floor
Yes.
in that back corner.
Fourth floor.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
40.
Yep.
Let's see.
417. I think
Yeah,
was
417.
417 was the number of the room,
Yeah,
and that was
our room.
that was our
Yeah.
classroom, is what they called it. And so anytime we come to Anschutz and they were busy with other things, they would just tell us, "Hey, go to your guys' room, and we'll be up there in a little bit." So we'd all just go pile all of our clothes and our blankets and pillows and everything in that room and just kind of chill out until they were ready for
Or
us.
in that like sun deck too.
Yep, right on the sun deck.
That was that. I sat out there with tons.
We did yoga out there and everything. on
Anschutz
that.
is awesome.
Let's talk about Anschutz. What did you guys think of when you first walk in? Were you just like, holy... Because you recognize it from the show. And I know on the show they make it look like you live there. But you guys just live like a mile or something down the road,
Yeah, I mean,
right?
we pretty much lived there.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
were
you're
always
right,
there,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we slept. There'd be multiple times where we stood the night there and slept there. So we
Yeah.
did stay there a couple
How
times.
bomb was that hot tub?
Oh,
Dude,
that was our
their
favorite
facility
place.
there is freaking
We couldn't
awesome.
we couldn't get done with our workouts fast enough to go swimming and go get in that hot tub.
Like it's a
Period.
heated pool.
Yes.
The hot tub. You
It
just
was
sit in there,
awesome.
like all the jets, like 1,000 jets in different directions.
They got massages down there,
Yeah.
everything.
I even like the locker room. Like each has like you enter your own code in, and
Yeah,
like,
and TV and water and the couches.
and they have the flavored water too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, mango strawberry today. Very
It's awesome.
nice. Yeah.
They got the steam rooms, the saunas, state of the art, everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I definitely.
If
miss
I
that
lived in
place.
Colorado, Anschutz Health and Wellness Center is where I would work out. That's where my membership would be. Period.
Yeah, Anschutz is awesome. I mean,
Yes.
even the coaches and the training staff, and
and it's cool because we got a lifetime membership there too, and this sucks because we're not there. You
you're
know,
not there. Yeah, we'll have to do a road trip out
dude,
there.
that would be awesome. Yeah,
Because we're only like 7 or maybe
6
9.
hours. I think
no,
it's like-
I think it's like 8 or 9 hours.
yeah, it's not very
it's
long.
just a day drive.
Yeah, that's just a weekend. We can do that in a weekend.
Heck yeah, hang out with Dr. Holly.
Bruce is out there.
Yeah, he's out. Is he coaching again?
Yeah, I think he's in
He's in Utah doing
Utah
like a
doing
boot
a
camp.
boot camp coach thing with and I also think he's doing football this year too.
Yeah, he's coaching football.
Yeah.
again.
Well, he has a friend who's a big guy, but he's like a monster in everything that he does. So he's like working with him to kind of shape him, and he's doing really good.
Yeah.
Bruce is just a good dude. Like his whole story is just awesome.
And he's unbelievable. The show gave him a lot of recognition for how awesome he is, but that was a very small amount of what he's really all about.
Oh my gosh, he
He's
takes
an
the time.
awesome guy.
Like he still messages me and texts me. I'm like, I only knew you for a week, bro, and like he's still like, hey,
It's
how's
because
it
Bruce
going?
is so passionate. Whenever he sees that you have even a quarter of the passion that he has for what he loves, which is fitness now,
Yeah.
he will stay with you for the rest of your life. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't get rid of Bruce if you want to.
I challenged him in a workout the last day there. We were doing we were in a plank and we go down to our elbows and up in a plank. And he was down there doing like, come on, Bruce, let's go. And so we were going really fast. And then we had it was a Tabata workout, 20 seconds on, 10 off. And we were rep for rep. And then he got up because he was coaching other people. And he got up and walked in somewhere. And I was like, I see how it is, Bruce. Walk off when it starts getting hard. But he's a stud, man.
Yeah.
Like, talk about people that lifelong motivators.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you guys got audition. You got on the show. You're at Anschutz for 3 months. You basically lived there. Then you went to Arizona. Robert and Raymond, you came back to Springfield. That's how we got. And then you guys came home and you're together again. Like, how did that being together? I know you said you're not like attached to the hip, but like you said, having your partner in crime. Were you guys like?
Well, we work
Better
out.
together. We work out so much more better together because we
Yeah.
motivate each other so much.
And
so,
there's someone there watching you, so you can't.
so if I
slack
see
off.
him, if I hear the floor creaking, he's in the kitchen sneaking, or if I'm in the kitchen,
There's
sneaking,
been a couple times where we'd
Like
hear
you jump out and you're like, ha!
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There's a few times where we'd hear someone walk into the kitchen, and one of us would get out of bed, and it may be me, it may be Robert in the kitchen, and
or
we're like,
maybe Raymond's girlfriend or my girlfriend. Who
yeah.
knew
And
who it was?
if it was one of us though, we'd be like, "What are you doing?" And then it'd be like, "Man, I'm hungry, dude." And we're like, "You're not hungry. Go to
You
sleep."
slap it out of their hands.
Drink
Yeah.
some water or something.
Drink some.
you know?
So it helps to have a partner there that knows how you feel and what you're going through in every aspect. Because I have friends that are skinny that are trying to build muscle,
Yeah,
and that's a whole different
it's my
game because
wife,
they
man.
eat a lot more. They're allowed to eat a lot more. When you're trying to burn fat and lose weight, you're kind of on a really strict diet, certain amount of calories, certain amount of food that you're allowed to intake to help burn fat. So it's really tough. So
It was a lot better to have us back together because we did work so much better together when it came to the diet and the workouts.
phase 2, I lost 26 pounds. Phase 3, I lost like 40 something
That's
pounds.
awesome.
So I doubled it with having Robert there because we both worked out extra hard when we were together. We wouldn't let each other slack.
Now, skin surgery, like going into that, because that's something we were talking earlier. I'm looking at getting an estimate. And
Yeah.
How excited and then nervous.
I was Robert here I was so scared to do it. I've never had surgery. I've never had any kind of like medical issues like that where I had to go into under the knife or anything.
They cut you in half.
This is a major surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was under anesthesia for 8 hours, something like that.
Yep.
And I was terrified. Like I think I was more. I couldn't even be excited because I was so scared.
When the doctors was drawing like the little lines on my body to where they're going to cut and stuff, I literally had to tell my doctor, Dr. Mathis is his name, I had to tell him, hey, hold on a second, and I had to sit down because I literally almost passed out. I was so scared.
Wow.
Like you just start getting lightheaded,
And that's not
Yeah.
a joke. I really did.
It's an intimidating process, but
It's not as bad though as
you're
you think.
really excited when you get up to the point, you
Yeah.
know,
Because that's what you've been working
You
on.
look so different. Like
Yeah.
I was at 109 pounds with the skin,
Yeah.
and then when they took the skin off, you look so much smaller because you don't have that.
But he was at like 115 pounds
Yeah.
after the surgery because of the
the
swelling,
and stuff, but you look so much smaller because the skin's gone. That skin is a
It's so annoying.
son of a beep, you know.
Yeah.
And it is annoying, and that's why the skin surgery it's awesome, and I love that the show does it because some weight loss shows don't
Yeah.
do that. You know, that
We
you
won't-
lose the
we
weight,
won't
but that's
talk
it.
about any big losing.
Yeah, we won't talk about none of that. But some of those they don't do that, so we're unfortunate. Is that the word?
we're fortunate.
Fortunate that they do that. Because it makes such a difference in the way you look. I mean, you can look at yourself and you're like, from here to here, I look pretty small, but right here, I still look really
Oh, yeah.
fat
I like-
because you
I'll-
have all that skin.
I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got pecs." And then I look down, I'm like, "Oh no!"
And it really does make you look a lot bigger than
Yeah.
you are, you know. And it's frustrating when you
It
see
is.
that.
Like I can like, hello, friend.
Yeah,
Like it's
mine
like,
would just hang down. Like it
Yeah.
was so crazy on how much skin I had. And the second it's gone, dude, it changes the whole game too. Especially when you're able to start moving again
Yeah.
and working out.
I remember when
Push-ups, burpees, jumping.
I remember when you
Crazy.
said you went swimming for the first time after the skin surgery, and you guys were like,
I had to
was
learn how to
such a
swim,
weird-
dude, because I just floated before, and now I'm like,
It was so
kind of hard to swim because you had to actually swim and not just
Yeah.
kind of float
Float
across the
around,
water.
dude.
It was weird, yeah.
Yeah, that friend Dak that was I was telling you about earlier that weighed 500 pounds. He's like, I'm like the Michael Phelps of floating because he was just like I don't even have to try. I'm so bored.
And that's what we
Yeah.
did. Like one of the workouts, we did a pull workout with the group one time, and one of the workouts was you just bob there,
Yeah.
but you use your feet to keep afloat or
Yeah.
whatever. When you're that big, you kind of just float anyways.
Yeah.
So your kicking's not really that. If you try lose the weight, and even if you have the loose skin, but after surgery try to do that workout, one of the best leg workouts you
Oh
can
my
do
gosh.
because you're kicking so hard just to stay above
And
water.
And sometimes you're not even staying above water.
So
It's like your face is under.
it
I
really
was
does
like,
make a
I
difference.
had to pull
yeah.
myself to the side and catch my breath.
Now, Raymond, after your surgery, you called me. That's when you told me that I was going to be able to go to that
Yeah,
boot camp. But
we originally was going to give it to well, actually I was going to think about giving it to one of my girlfriend's family members. Then whenever I came back from phase or from boot camp and I met Chris at the CrossFit gym, and I was like, because I mean honestly sometimes when you see a bigger person working out, when you meet them, you know whether they're determined to lose weight or if it's just a phase that they're going through. Because I went through many phases,
Right.
and I would tell people, "Oh, I'm losing weight right now. I'm on a diet. I can't eat that." And they're kind of like, oh, "Come on, we know better. You're not on a diet right now." And it was true. They knew. You can tell when someone's not really there. And when I met Chris, I knew he was there. He worked out just as hard, if not harder, than me when at the gym, and so, every day I would come and go work out. He was working out. We exchanged numbers. He would text me during the day, and he was struggling. He was hungry, wanting to eat something. No, he shouldn't have, and he was still wanting it. So he would text me for me to help him, stay away from doing that because he was on a mission. And that just showed me right there that he was ready to change because it would have been super easy for him just to go eat Chinese, come to the gym, and I say, "How you do today, Chris?" And he's gonna say, "Oh, I did great, man. I've been perfect on my diet. I didn't do anything
crushed
wrong."
it.
Chris and Heidi would tell you the same
Yeah.
thing too.
Yep. And So, but he would text me, call me, and just let me know like, hey man, I'm struggling today. Or even if he did eat the Chinese food, he would text me and tell me like, man, I messed up. I had Chinese today. I know I shouldn't. I was down 4 pounds yesterday. Today I'm up 6. He was very honest with what was going on. So I talked to Robert, and I talked to my girlfriend.
And that was before I met Chris,
yeah,
too.
That was before I said, dude, you're going to freaking love this guy. And I told him, I said, I want to give him, because we only was able to give one of the Destination Boot Camps away, even though there was 2 of us, but we were only 1 episode. So I said, I want to give the Destination Boot Camp to Chris from CrossFit. And Rob I was like, I can't wait for you to get home so you can meet him and work out with him because you're going to love this guy. He's funny. He's just really cool. And Rob was like, whatever, dude. I don't care. I didn't know anybody. We don't have very many fat friends anyways. So
we were Robert gets back and he's like, I hate this guy.
Yeah, I was like, he's a jerk.
I don't know about giving this.
He lifts more weight than me. He's not going to Destination Boot Camp.
True
But
that.
we gave it to Chris, man, and because what did you weigh when I met you, Chris?
I was
You were
probably
still in
320.
Yeah,
probably.
he was in the 300s for sure, and now he's like 250. You know what I mean? And I met him less than a year ago. And he's been doing this on his own. He's been going to the gym on his own. He has a full-time job he does. So me and Robert got a full year break pretty much from everyday life. We got to be away from our home, the temptations of being at home on your own. We got to get away from that for 3 months.
We were professionals.
Yeah, I mean, and Chris has done this on his own, which was even more cool to me. So we gave him the Destination Boot Camp, send him to...
And he reminded us of us.
Yeah.
The way his attitude was, how he looked at everything, the way he worked out, the way he acted. He reminded us a lot of how we were. And
Because he's a happy guy. He was a big guy, but he's happy. He's fun. He's loving. He cares about other people's success.
Thanks,
and we wanted him to be successful with this just like us because we know how hard he works. So we gave him the boot camp. And the thing about the boot camp, it's like the first week. How much does it cost to go?
It's like
4,000 or 5,000. I thought for the first week because
I think the total cost because you have to travel out there and you have to.
Oh yeah. Just the boot camp is like $4,000 or something.
Like 3 or 4. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's worth it for sure, but it's crazy.
I'll put the link to it so people can look at it.
Yeah,
and
it's
know.
definitely worth it.
It's definitely worth it. You guys,
and you get everything we did. People were like, "What do you do there?" Everything that you guys were doing. What is it? A week?
It's a week. Yeah, it's Sunday to Saturday. You work with Dr. Holly. You work with Peggy.
Yep.
You work with
Bruce Pitcher is one of the coaches for Destination
Bob
Boot Camp.
was up there with you guys.
Bob wasn't. It was Georgiana.
Georgie was there.
Yeah, Georgie Joe. She was awesome.
Georgiana from season 4 is there. Bob Brenner's there sometimes.
Bob's there a lot. Georgiana did the gymnastics episode where they had her do like a back handspring
on season 4.
Yeah.
And Bruce is on season 4 if you don't know him. So I mean, they got a lot of great people there, and so I wanted Chris to experience it because
he would do everything we did in that first week.
And then when you got back, though, how much more weight did you lose from 18, Destination Boot Camp?
18 pounds at or 15
pounds just in that 1 week at Destination Boot Camp. And then since then to now, you lost more weight.
Yeah, I've lost. When I went to Destination Boot Camp, I weighed 287. And
now you're 250.
Yeah, so...
like 30-something pounds.
Yeah, I'm like 5 pounds away from a 100-pound weight loss.
Yeah, and since I met him, he's down almost 100 pounds. I lost 166 pounds. He's almost there. Yeah. And he's doing it on his own. He got 1 week of Destination Boot Camp. I got an entire year with these people.
And and really the success of the weight loss, and I think you guys learned this with working with Chris and Heidi, is surrounding yourself
with positive people.
With people that don't let you fail.
Yeah.
Like just having that support group. Because I didn't even know you were on the show before I was switching numbers with you. Like, hey, can we help each other out? And I have people that I go to that for help, and then people at the gym that they'll notice if you're not there.
Yep.
And now, I remember when the first time I tried to lose weight, I was watching like Biggest Loser, sitting in my living room eating like good pizza, crying my eyes out, and I was just like, if I only had Jillian Michaels or even a Chris Powell, I could do this. What do you say to people that come and be like, well, I could have lost that weight if it did that?
That's a hard question.
No, I look at people because especially now, because I see people like you, Chris, who's lost almost 100 pounds without Chris, without Julian, without Heidi, without the TV shows, and you've done it. And then I look at people and you exercise every day, right? Almost every single day.
5 to 6 times.
5 to 6 times. And then I look at people like my girlfriend's mom, who I put her on the exact same diet that I'm on, and she doesn't work out a day at all. and she lost 36 pounds, and it's just diet. So people, if you listen to advice, if you take people's advice and don't think people are trying to tear you down because they want you to eat eggs in the morning instead of pancakes, then you should, take a little bit of advice. If you follow it, it's gonna work. Especially if you following someone's
consistent.
diet. Yeah, if you following someone's diet that's done it and they have the success to prove it, then you might listen to him a little bit and you might be successful. Because, I mean, that's what Chris does. He has advice from his coaches, from me and Robert, from people that help him out. And look at him. He's being successful. My girlfriend's mom, she took the advice that I gave her. I went to her house, sat down with her for like an hour and a half and wrote her out a diet plan, which was my diet plan. I just changed the portions because she's a female. And she lost weight. And she's successful. She's down to almost, I'm pretty sure she's actually to her goal weight that she wanted to lose.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's like the people that think that, oh, you did it because you're on a TV show, those are the people that are still in that phase in their mindset that they're not ready to change.
Now, if you had 3 things to tell somebody that came to you, and I'm sure you've had people come up to you and ask for help. I know I have. What are the top 3 things that you always go to tell them to do?
Well, the first thing I always say is to not give up. Like, one bad day will not make or break your entire week. Because there's many times I've done it before too, where I eat like crap one day, and then I'm like, well, the whole week's messed up.
I'll start again
on Monday.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing you can do, and that's one thing that everyone does. I've done it, and that's one thing we changed when we went to
start
the show. Yeah, and start the next meal. Exactly. You go out to eat with your family or something, and you eat like crap, and you shouldn't have done it. That's okay. Your very next meal, get back on plan. Don't wait until Monday. Don't start tomorrow. Just get back on plan. It's not over with. I mean, yeah, you may not lose as much weight as you thought you were going to that week, or you may gain a pound. That's okay. It's an up and down process, and weight loss is not measured in weeks or years or anything like that. It's measured in the determination and the time you put into it. Period. I mean, me and Robert are not the skinny, perfect people. We still make mistakes. We still go out and eat with our family. Yeah, we live life.
We go up in weight, go down in weight. That's just how real life happens. You're not going to. Yeah, it's maintenance. So it's and then I would say number 2 would be water. A lot of people don't. I've been told this is the first time I've ever heard it. Was a lot of people mistake dehydration as hunger. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't drink enough water.
No.
So your body's telling you that you're thirsty when you're thinking you're hungry. So people overeat a lot too, so it's important to drink your water like crazy.
Because you'd be surprised. Like for me, I eat 6 ounces of protein, 6 ounces of carbs, and vegetables for almost every meal. And then if I down, a whole glass of water with that meal, I feel just fuller than full. And sometimes I think like
I overate.
I overate. But you're filling yourself up with vegetables and water. Then you're going to eat very small amount, and you're going to be good to go. And that's water is very important.
And then number 3 would be
try to do any kind of movement. I know you can lose weight with not exercising, but there's a difference between losing weight and getting fit.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in shape,
if you're a pear shape and you lose weight without exercising, you're just going to be a smaller pear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We love pears. Pears are good. But that is true.
That was very good.
Yeah.
But any kind of movement.
Muscle burns fat.
Yes, and you burn so much more calories by when I was 400 pounds walking upstairs, I was burning like 1 million calories, and then
you got a lot more to move.
Right, and then once you get to a certain point,
and I know
your body's going to stop burning so many calories. So
you
the movement,
right?
This isn't the best, I guess, analogy, but also if you're being physically active and you do have that slip up during the week or something, it's not as horrible. Because your body is still going to be constantly burning. Your metabolism's huge.
Dr. Holly talks a lot about that. Does she do like the whole faucet drain thing? Yeah. And so like as you get to that point, your metabolism's higher. You can eat more. Your body adjusts.
And if you make a mistake during the week, it's not going to kill you. But sometimes
because your body is so used to firing that you're taking in that your body's like, oh, I know I need to work. Yeah.
It's not an excuse to binge 2 or 3 days in a row, but it's still like.
But it's just like it gives you more with with the more you do.
And you just feel a million times better when you work out.
Yeah.
You do.
No one.
Those
What do they
endorphin
say?
high.
Yeah, what do they say? You never regret doing a workout, but you're always going to regret not doing one. So I mean,
even the worst workout is better than no workout.
Yeah,
Even if
exactly.
you go to the gym
and
and
walk the whole time you're there and don't even do nothing but walk.
Yeah.
You know,
you're going to leave and be like, at least I walked 4 miles today. You know what I mean? Which is better than staying at home sitting on the couch eating an entire family-sized bag of potato chips, Robert. Just kidding.
I mean, those ruffles are really good, especially with being a chocolate
struggle's
milk,
real,
right?
dude. The
Yeah.
struggle is real.
Guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Is there any social media things that you guys want to plug that people can follow you at? Or
Just like our Instagram.
Our Instagram and Facebook, Robert Delgado, Raymond Delgado. You know,
I'll put them on the links of the show so people can follow you. And
we post pictures, and every now and again I'll post like food stuff too. But I try not to blow up too much with the food. So many people do that. You know, it's not cool.
Yeah, and these guys are. I mean, they're salt of the earth guys. If you have a question,
just
message
hit us
us.
up.
We'll message back. You know, we're not like too good of celebrities. You know.
yeah.
Oh,
Are you guys gonna do another diet bet, or is that something down the road?
We
or?
might. The lady talked to us about it. This one didn't do very good, but I think
There was
it's
a lot
because
of
there was
people
a
from
lot
the
of
show
people
doing them at the
them.
same time.
So down the road a little
So
bit.
maybe
Yeah, we
down the
might,
road
yeah.
sometime.
Yeah, if when you guys do it, we'll plug it on the show next time.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being on the Unbroken podcast. And remember, guys, live life unbroken.
Yes.